Hi everyone. Are you serious, Netflix? It's already delayed 15 minutes. What is delayed? it's so it's so funny. I was setting up the other stream and I was like, "Oh my god, it's already 7:01 and no one is online. Apparently I'm in the wrong room." Hi everybody. Okay, let me add something. I was all set up in the other one. Just wanted to make sure that I have everything ready when I start talking. Okay, one more. And my dog is staring at me. How is everybody? How was your weekend? Okay, let me say hi. Okay, wait. My dog is here. Give me 1 second. Okay, come here. Wait. Say hi. Okay. Of course, he has to say hi. Say hi. Say hi, everybody. Okay. Um, Hi, Leah. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Cat Daddy. Evie, Hoan, Fire Butterfly, Rana, Lindsay, Bang Luna. Fire Butterfly is also on Twitch. Mama Ja, Halina, Michelle, Z, Rachel, Kanitra. Why is your tummy so loud? One Hot Sean, Amy, Disha, Rona, Arlene. Mochi Luna Panda. Kamusta? Mabuti naman. She said, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm good." Carol, Fire Butterfly, Evie, Hoan Leia, um, Elizabeth, Angel Star, Tisa. They're saying hi to you. Show your face to them so they know you're cute. Melanie, Clueless Mind, Personal Space. Hello. Joanna, Rachel, Cat Daddy, I think I've mentioned that already. MJD, Crazy Mama, I am Claudia, One Hot Sean, Darren, Raquel, Sylvia, Jalma, Lindsay, Nigma, uh, OMG, John, Jazz. Hi, Fairlane, did you watch the Walang Uue ni Hobie? Didi, Cat Daddy, Evie, Elizabeth, JJ. Okay, I think I've greeted everybody. So it was fun watching all these clips of Hobie's concert in the Philippines. Why am I showing mantis? Okay, it was so fun watching him, um, watching his show in the Philippines whenever he tries to speak in Filipino. Because hi Eva, because he, of course, it's cute that he's trying to learn or at least sentence. I'm sure he's not trying to learn the language, but he's trying to learn sentences, and it's cute because whoever is teaching him, um, I guess they're okay. They did pretty well. Who am I to speak? I've been here like 10 years. So, well, no, almost a dozen years. So I guess some of the words that he was using was kind of awkward, but were some of the words were kind of awkward. But he did really great, and I think also I feel happy that he felt happy performing in the Philippines. It was so obvious that I love that clip. Somebody showed me a clip of Hobie doing the mic drop song, and in the part where he say when the line goes Mia Neoma, it was so loud that even he was shocked. The Filipinos were singing so loud. So yeah, so I was happy that he was happy, and I wish that someday I could watch him in them OT7 in the Philippines. Okay. Press conference is on. Where should we watch? What is a press conference? Where is a press conference? So hygiene, science. Yes, it is very hard to Consuelo. It's very hard to keep up with everybody here. Did you all see the Mr. Lee Marry Me signs at the concert? Wait, I think Fire Butterfly's target is Mr. Lee, or was it Bang's PD? Is the SK government pressuring BTS to hold their reunion concert this year? Um, I not I wouldn't put it past them because I wouldn't I wouldn't even call it pressuring. They probably would want BTS to actually um I don't know. So I wouldn't it wouldn't be surprising if the government is sort of hinting to Big Hit that they would prefer that BTS does their concert this year. There's a lot of things that are happening that we really don't know about. So I really wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But no one has confirmed, and I would encourage everybody to not jump into conclusions. Um, Things like this are meant to sort of agitate the fandom, and right now really it's better for us to concentrate on what we have at hand, and that is the concert of J-Hope, the Asia leg. And then we'll have his third single, also April. And then we'll have the album of Jin, Echo. So I think it's better if we concentrate on those things instead of dwelling on things that we can't prove, that somebody said that we can't prove. I mean, I'm not saying that it isn't true. I'm just saying I don't think it will ever be confirmed by anybody. So it's better if we do not dwell on that and just dwell on the things that we need to do, the important ones. So so it's going to be released May 16th, and the album of Jin, the title is going to be Echo, and it was so fun how they did the reveal of the date. So they basically asked people to wake up at 6 a.m. Well, basically earlier than 6, so wake up at 5 a.m. so that they can be at the venue, COEX, at 6 a.m. to see and to see the billboard of Jin, the billboard there featuring Jin, showing when the release date is going to be, which is May 16. Now, the problem is that we are tough. We're in for some tough competition because Morgan Wallen, who is a massive, massive recording artist in the US, is going to release his next album with 37 single, it was 37 songs on the 16th as well. So just our luck. It's always like this. So initially I was like, maybe, for this comeback, we can actually aim for number one in Billboard 200 because that seems to be like a hurdle we can't seem to cross. And I don't know what we're going to do with this Morgan Whalen guy. He's massive. He's super massive in the US. So we can just do our best. And then of course before that happens, we will have the third single of J Hope. So let's also try to concentrate on those. And it's not yet too late to push Mona Lisa or Sweet Dreams for that matter higher in Billboard 100. And so are other songs of BTS. So let's stay focused. Okay. Um oh, Jin live press conference right now. Is it on Weverse? Billboard YouTube might block me. Is it on YouTube or Fairlane? Country is a different genre. No, I know. It's just that it will still be in Hot 100. It's on YouTube. Let me see. Because YouTube might block me. Jin press conference. Oh, the Kian's Bazaar. Should we watch a little? What if YouTube stops me? Sylvia, no, I know he's a country singer. Sylvia said Morgan is a country singer. I know, but they still are all competing in Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200. They don't make the distinction. Fire butterfly. I know it's a Kian's Bazaar. I'm just wondering what if YouTube stops me? What if YouTube blocks me? Do you see it? I'm actually showing it. Wait. Where is it? Netflix will probably copyright strike you. Okay then. Stop sharing. That's what I was wondering about. Maybe YouTube is actually gonna block me. So uh there you go. Twitch is fine too. Morgan is massive. Jin is going to, yeah, so if you guys want to watch Jin, go ahead. It's just, of course, that's I don't have to tell you to go if you want to go. It's just that I can't, YouTube is going to copyright strike me. So Jin is going to be in the Coldplay concert in Seoul, right? I don't think they announced it yet. I know that that Coldplay actually announced twice, but I don't think they've announced anybody else. So they haven't really mentioned Jin, although Woto was in the picture when they announced that their next stop is Seoul. So there is a possibility that Jin is going to be. I hope so. Do you want to go down? Hmm? Do you want to go down and say bye bye? Say bye bye to everybody. You can stream it on Twitch. I know, but this streaming platform won't allow me to choose. Well, it will. It's just that I can't stream different things on different channel. It's streaming the same thing all at the same time. For this streaming platform. I'm watching you on one device and streaming Jin on another device. Okay, I'll take my time. Okay, so you want to go down, baby? Say bye. Say bye to everybody. Hi. You've missed my dog. Well, he's still here. You want to go down? Go back to your bed? Okay. You say bye. You say bye bye to everybody. Say bye bye to everybody. He likes belly rubs. Say bye bye. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye. Love you. So sweet. He is very sweet. Now he's just gonna be like staring at me. Okay, he went under the bed where his huge bed is. Okay. Um, Maybe Coldplay do not want to use Jin for promo. They work better as surprise guests, don't you think? Well, that's an option. Um, if if there if there's anything I know about Coldplay, they do have dignity. So they don't and they certainly don't need it. They don't ride on anybody's coattails, and they certainly don't need to do that. So there is a possibility that Jin is going to be there, just that they simply don't want to mention it. I do hope so. I mean, they're one of the great things about BTS and Coldplay is that they're actual friends. So and you can feel it whenever two artists that are performing are actually friends, like real friends, and if they like each other, it makes everything, the entire experience better, the performance better. So I do hope that um that happens. I hope that they invite Jin. But on the other hand, I also would understand if it things doesn't work out, if things between them, I mean the schedule and all, if the schedule doesn't work out because Jin is busy with his new album, or Jin could probably debut a song in the concert. So let's see what's going to happen. Chris is a good man, and so is the rest of the band. I agree. As I've said, they if there's anything I know about the Coldplay is that they do have dignity, and they don't need it anyway. I mean, they really don't need to use anybody's name. They're made. So, hi Han. Okay, so I will continue. I'm currently watching Jen on Netflix before this live, and I'm enjoying it so much. Good. I will watch it later. I can't. I was going to stream it, but someone said that, and I also think that YouTube is going to copyright strike me. So never mind. So you guys can just come back here once it's done. They're all posting, not speaking yet. Okay, so so we're in for a tough competition. So let's just let us try to concentrate as much as we can because Morgan is such a huge star in the US, and yes, he is a country singer, but they're all, when it comes to Hot 100 and Billboard 200, they don't make a distinction. It's all songs, so he's going to be competing with them. And we were at least I was kind of hoping that we could break the number 2 curse in Billboard 200, but that's going to be tough now, given that Morgan is actually going to be releasing an album with 37 songs. And then the other thing is that Billboard Hot 100 will also be tough because it's 37 songs. So Amy Cohen, yes. So you can buy the album now. Okay, let's see. There is a pre-purchase. Okay. So I will paste it in the description box. No, not in the description box, in the chat box. So you guys can go to this link in order to buy the pre-save the album. Okay, let me share. Songs and albums. Here you go. Okay, so as you know, there is a limit. For example, if you order from Target, there's a limit on the number of albums you can purchase. So I would suggest buy one and then the rest buy in cash if you want to help in charting. Okay. All right. Let's go back. So some guidelines on streaming, because I know a lot of people are still asking about it and are still confused as to how to properly stream. So remember, do not loop. If you are using any kind of streaming platform, do not loop. It's better to create your own playlist, but create at least 3 so that you're jumping to different playlists. Don't put the same song consecutively, even if it is a remix. One of the things that's working, that's wrong about one of the major errors of many armies is that they insist on putting the same song consecutively and they just use the remix. Remember that an algorithm is designed to know all of it. That it's the same song and that you keep on putting it consecutively, or that you're putting 2 to 3 songs in between the song that you're streaming. That is a pattern. And algorithms are actually designed to read patterns. So do not put the same song consecutively and put different numbers of songs in between the song that you are streaming. Okay. Of course, you should pause. Don't stream continuously for like 3 days. Take a pause, like pause for 5 hours and then play, and then pause for an hour and then play. You have to take a pause. So it's better to actually have 2 to 3 premium accounts and take advantage of free plans. So if you want to make sure that you're streaming continuously, just get a second or a third account by signing up on free trials of different streaming platforms, and then use your playlist and use other people's playlist as well. So just make sure that whatever playlist you are using is actually someone that you trust, because a lot of people would actually change their playlist in the middle just to sabotage the group that you are trying to stream. So, in other words, correct, One Hot Sean, stream like a human being. So be don't have any kind of pattern, just stream like a human being. It is always better to have 10 counted three streams, or sorry, it's better to have 10 counted streams than 100 unaccounted for streams or disqualified streams. Okay, so just a reminder, when it comes to sales, also buy in cash in physical stores and just do one purchase per account, ever, forever. So they're very, very strict on who what kind of purchase they're going to, they meaning Billboard, what kind of purchase they're going to be conning. So you have to abide by their rules. All right, do you have questions on that? What are the rules for YouTube video music videos again? So MVs are for YouTube. It's some sort of a puzzle for us because I think BTS is blacklisted so, in YouTube, and they actually this I know for sure because I'm within the industry. So they want, for social media, they want companies to pay. They want you to put ads. So if you don't put ads, the way they pressure you to do it is to try is to um, pull down your recommendations and your reach in order to force you to put ads. That's what's happening with BTS, with Big Hit, because Big Hit is not putting ads. YouTube is forcing them by pulling them down on the algorithm to force Big Hit to advertise. So the only thing I can tell you is, just like streaming, you have to watch music videos like a human being. So um make sure that you don't watch consecutively. You watch now and then watch again in an hour, or if you have different devices, that's even better. Watch now and then an hour after, watch from a different device, and then 20 minutes after, watch from another device. You can also open different accounts, not too many. Like, for example, you open a Google account, for example, a Gmail account, then that will allow you to open different YouTube accounts. Just like streaming, premium counts better. Big Hit, can you? I don't think they want to, or probably it's BTS's choice not to put ads, not to advertise their songs. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. If I get to interview Bang Shuyuk, I'll ask him. Halina said, yes, I plan to buy JIN'S album by paying in cash. How do I know my streams count? You won't know. You won't know exactly. You can only do your best to try and make sure that you're not leaving any kind of behavioral patterns in order for your counts, for your views or streams to be disqualified. Mama Bird has worked 6 jobs while 5 in military and 1 in foreign exchange idol program. Okay. Sorry, I missed why the purchase should be made in cash. Because they're marking you now. So once you buy one album, any succeeding albums using the same name or credit card, they're probably going to disqualify it. So they won't count it. So better to buy in cash so that there is no pattern. There's no paper trail to identify that you, the same person, are buying the same album so many times. Okay. Billboard said they're tracking people's credit card to prevent bulk buying. Mhm. They're not tracking, but they're not doing anything against radio stations doing payola. So, okay. Mandy J, I know the old songs, I want to learn the new ones. Still, I avoid looping, but it's just so unfair. It is very, very unfair. So, but we can't do anything about it. I usually make about four playlists, and just like um just like my advice, I don't put it consecutively. Don't put the same song consecutively. I would always put like three songs in between, and then two, or seven, and then 10, and then seven again, and then four, and then eight. So that I don't establish any kind of pattern. And then I include like songs of the Beatles to throw off the algorithm completely. The Beatles, and then a local artist from Indonesia, from the Philippines, and then one BTS song, and then go back to the song that I'm looping. So it's different number of songs. Billboard is so special. How are they getting access to our credit card information? It's not your whole, supposedly, it's not your whole credit card information. It's just a trace saying that, okay, this is card letter A, and this is card letter B, and they all belong to the same person. That's what they say. So, so I interviewed a data analyst and a data scientist. It's going to be published on Monday. And that's one of the things that we discussed, like what information do all these companies know about us, and how can we avoid it? And the answer is going to surprise you. Okay, as you know, I've been starting to interview some industry practitioners. So I've done like an entertainment lawyer, a psychologist to analyze like fandoms and super fans and behavior of idols, and how that actually affects their psyche and all. So this week I'm going to interview a producer. He is also an engineer, a sound engineer, and he's also an artist. He has worked with mainstream acts like Jack Harlow, my best friend, the baby. So if you want, he actually works with these people. He's a producer, an actual producer. So if you have questions about how, the process of production, anything that is on that sort of milieu, let me know, because I will be interviewing him this week. Okay, so interesting. And then let's see if I can understand. Lily is asking, Jin's new release can pre-order on Weverse and it will be counted for BB, right? I am on Weverse now, trying to buy Echo. Should I buy on Weverse? Weverse US. Weverse US. Make sure it's US, not global. Hi, Sam. Lily, make sure that you're buying from Weverse US, not global, and not Japan for sure, for it to count. But it will only count once, meaning once you make a purchase using that credit card, you can't make any other kind of purchase. I mean, you can't purchase the album again using that credit card. I don't know if I like the idea of any of my credit card info in someone's hand. Big bothership. Cindy, I'm gonna hold your hand while I say this. um yeah, no, they know. And there's nothing we can do about it. We've sort of designed this lifestyle this way. So okay. All right. uh Good evening, Beth. Okay. So a billboard is only US chart. There is usually fine print on the page somewhere saying which charts the purchase impacts. True. Elizabeth, you are not too late. I'm just starting. So um I'm going to do so as BTS's return actually comes closer and closer. We are less than 70 days away from the five of the kids returning from the military service. Are you all excited? Because I am. I'm super excited. So, Science said you should interview Sleep D's. You're actually like the nth person who's asked me to do it. I'll try to track him down. I don't know if he's going to pay attention to me, but I sure will try. You know, one thing about me is I like doing like things that you know you won't be able to achieve. I still try for it. Like I remember I was a fresh graduate and I just kept on applying for managerial positions with no experience at all. Um, or if like I really like the position and there's like a skill or two there that I don't know, I'm just like, I'm just gonna learn it there. I'm still gonna apply. So, and the same thing is true with the interviews that I'm doing. I'm like, if I feel like interviewing somebody, I'm just gonna slide in that person's DM. And if they don't pay attention, then they don't pay attention. That's fine. Billboard Hot 100 is what I mean. That there are global charts. I think complicated on purpose. So Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200 are US based, and then Global 100 and Billboard Global 200 and Billboard Global 200 exclusive of the US are both global. But Hot 100 and Billboard 200, those are US. Is it true that Enhypen's crowd is very small in Coachella? Okay, do you want to talk about Coachella first? Because I was going to do a review on Coachella. Do you want to do that first? Do you want to do Coachella first? Okay, first of all, for Coachella, just in case you are interested in going next year, I don't know why you will be, but you will be. There are, if you don't want to do the usual route, you can actually purchase a VIP experience. So it is 10 grand for two people for 3 days. That includes transportation, an artist pass, and food. So they're gonna bring you using a cart, a golf cart, to whatever stage you want to go. And then, yeah, and then you're not like joining the crowd. You have your own restrooms. Um, and you have your own food and stuff. So just in case you are interested, 5 grand per person, minimum of 10 grand for two people. Lost interest 10 years ago. Oh, yeah. It's in California, correct? It is in California. Sylvia, 10 grand. Oh, hell no. Just in case you're interested. So it's a VIP experience. It's one entire weekend, and they'll pick you up and drop you off in your hotel or Airbnb. And then within the venue itself, it's a huge one. I don't know if you know, but it's a huge, huge, huge venue. And so if you want to go to, for example, stage one or Sahara stage or whatever, they're going to take you through a golf cart, using a golf cart. So, and then you have food, you have your own VIP restroom, and then you have like a VIP, an artist pass. So you're not going to join the crowd. You're always in the front. Okay. Caribbean lady, I'm good, thanks. 10K. Yep, 10K. For two people for one entire weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll watch on YouTube. Okay, let's do Coachella. Live streaming. Ashley said live streaming is free though. Have my own bathroom and everything. Okay, let's do Coachella. So as you know, there are four Asian native acts that performed in this year's Coachella. They still have the next weekend, but for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have XG, Jennie, Lisa, and Enhypen. Okay, and just like any other performance of Blackpink, Enhypen, and XG, there's a lot of talks, a lot of claims that have been going around. So let's set some things clear. Let's set something straight. Whatever you heard, it's most likely vastly exaggerated, whether or not it is for the artist. So whether it's because they're saying it's a horrible performance or that it's a great performance, both are vastly exaggerated. Okay? So don't believe what you're seeing. They, people have great editing skills in on online, and so they will cut specific stamps in a clip, basically in the entire performance, and show that to either prove that they did bad or that they did great. Either way, don't believe it because it's not real. They are vastly exaggerating. Okay, so if you want to get a more authentic experience of the performances without being there, of course, the first option is for you to be there. If you want to go, but as close to it as you can, you should just watch Fancom's recording in HD. That's one option. Second is that you watch the live performance and they are streaming it on YouTube. So those are two different things that you can do to make sure that you get the authentic account of what happened. If you go to the official channel of Coachella and watch the playback, they usually repair the audio. So the artist always sounds better, usually. If the artist is horrible during the performance, vocally at least they will fix it. Okay. Another thing is that fact. This is a fact. Enhypen and XG sang live. They have zero. They have very minimal to zero backtrack. And you would know because whenever, for example, when excuse me, Enhypen would put the phone, the not the phone, the microphone down, there will be no audio. So you know that the the backtrack is super low, or they're actually singing 100% live. And the same thing is true for XG was such badasses. They sang live. Okay, so this is the Enhypen crowd during the show. Is it as big as J-Hope's Lollapalooza? No. Is it small? No. Is it as big as Lisa and Jennie? No. But is it small? No. So that is the crowd of Enhypen. And this was taken during the show. And this is the official photo released by Coachella. Okay, so the to the person asking, is it true that there was nobody as watching them? It is not true. There were a lot of people there. And this is the crowd for XG. Impressive, huh? Yeah. So that's their crowd. Okay. Considering they're like, what, 2 years old? Another fact is that Lisa and Jennie sang over their backtracks on some parts of the song. So a lot of people kept on saying that they just allowed their backtracks to do all the work for the most part, but there were some portions, some parts of a song when they would actually sing over the backtrack. They would make an effort to be heard over the backtrack. Okay. So, in all fairness to the two, another fact of the two, actually, this may be considered an opinion. I know this is actually factual. Of the two, Lisa sang and rapped more over the backtrack than Jennie. So she made more effort to be heard over the backtrack than Jennie did. So hers in every, there was like a few songs where, she didn't sing at all. She was just lip syncing, but for the most part, but she had more live part, not live, but over the backtrack than Jennie. Okay, let me know if you're getting confused. And another fact is that both had a massive crowd. And when I say massive, it is massive. This is Jennie's crowd. And this was released by Coachella themselves. Okay. And this is Lisa's crowd, even bigger. And also released by Coachella. So it's a massive crowd. This is the stage set of Lisa. Okay. Not surprising. Okay, so oh yeah, wait. I should have preloaded this. Okay, 1 second. let's go to XG first. Okay. So they were just bad. They were just badasses. I have to give it to XG for singing so well, 100% live, to the point that they were so flawless that people were actually accusing them of using a backtrack. Okay, I'm going to let you listen to about 5 seconds of the song. I have to cut it right away because I'm gonna get copyrighted. So okay, let's do 4 seconds. Okay, so this from beginning to end, they were just flawless. And the dancers, the dance line of the group is like, I can't say enough basically of how on point they were in the choreography. I can't say enough about their production design, their clothing. Everything was perfect. They were able to tell a story without compromising the aesthetics of their performance because they all look great. But then you can also tell the story. You can also sort of read what it is that they're trying to tell you. So it's almost as if there's nothing for me to sort of improve because they just are that great, that great. And it is such a waste that we don't get to hear them more often in Korea, or in the Western stage because they're so good. I think they need, or they definitely need more opportunities to show off what they can really do. They're great, really. Now, if I am forced to sort of um sorry, where is it? So if I am forced to suggest any kind of improvement on their performance, it would be, so as I've said, they have flawless vocals, the great dancers, and excellent styling. So if I am going to be forced to suggest any kind of improvement, if it would be most likely the spontaneity. And I understand because they're new. And this is, I think, the biggest crowd that they've ever had. And so I think during the performance, they were so focused in making sure they have everything perfect that they're they weren't giving as much of an engagement with the audience as they could have. I am not saying they are bad. They did engage. It's just that they can definitely improve more on that respect. And that is something that you can only improve with experience. So all they need is time and opportunities to be able to perform in a bigger crowd. If they keep on doing it, things are going to improve for them on that regard. Okay, next for Enhypen. So if you want to go, I found this performance, the one that I just saw. I found this performance in what in on X, not on YouTube. So if you want to search for them, do it on X because that's where I found it. The those that are on the ground recording high res HD, they're actually uploading it on X. So for Enhypen, just like XG, they were also great vocally. And just like XG, they were so great vocally that people are accusing them of actually lip syncing. They weren't lip syncing, they were just really great live. I don't know what kind of training Big Hit or B Lift, actually, not B Lift. Is it B Lift? That B Lift actually gave them, but they were great. They sounded great. They danced great, and they look very much like a whole unit. They weren't like, there are certain groups out there where when if you see them on stage, you feel like, who, like, what's happening? The For them, they look together, very much together. Okay, I do have some videos of them. Let me. It's a little, I was a little irritated because, okay. So I will play about 4 to 5 seconds so that you can hear it clearly. and then I'm gonna have to stop because then I'm gonna get copyrighted by YouTube. Okay, let's go. 5 seconds of their performance. Maybe here. Okay. So yes, so the ad libs actually gave it away because they were doing a lot of ad libs, and then as I've said, whenever they put the mic down, you will not hear anything, which is proof that they're actually singing live. Okay, just like XG, if I am forced to say anything to, like, just a suggestion for their improvement, it would be to offer something different in festivals. I think one of the things that you should be doing in a festival that you don't do in your concert is to go crazy. It is a festival after all, especially in something like Coachella. Like, go crazy, go big, offer something really, really different, because this is your chance to actually reach out to a new set of audience. And if you do, and the entire world's journalists in the US, their eyes are on this festival. So if you do something that will make you stand out, it's going to introduce you up to a lot of to a huge part of the market. And so that's the only thing I would want them to do, just like offer something different when it comes to a festival. And how was so powerful. They were very, very powerful. That I agree with. Okay. Next, let's go to Lisa. Lisa. All right. So, great entrance. So, this is her entrance. So, she was on an elevated platform, tied. Oh, sorry. Are you seeing it? Wait, you're not seeing it. Okay, wait. Where are you? Sorry, I thought I was actually showing it. Oh, here. Okay. So let's watch about 4 to 5 seconds of Lisa's entrance. This is how she started her set. She was on an elevated platform and being held together by, not held together, but she was tied with chains. On chains. She was on chains. Okay. Let's do 5 seconds of this. No, shorter than that. Okay. All right. So great entrance. Also, aside from the entrance, she also had 5 different outfits for the night. She performed for about 40 minutes, I think 40, 45 minutes, and she changed her wardrobe 5 times. This one was more like putting on something and taking it off, but still, so five. So a lot of effort, and the stage was great. I have to say, the stage design was great. And you know that she was actually well supported, because that stage must have been expensive. So, okay. Um, okay. So, yeah, so the stage looked great. It was very close to nature while being futuristic. So I love that part. Okay. Another thing is that this is, you liked her outfit. Yeah, I did too. I like her outfits. So the one thing she did right on this one is that she decided to sing more over the backtrack. So usually, as you know, she's notorious for lip syncing. And I was kind of sort of like expecting that she was going to do the same thing. And she didn't. She actually sang over the backtrack more than she has ever done so in any of her shows. So, can I play this? Okay, 1 second. Let me see. Okay. So, this part she was actually singing live. Okay, let's listen to it. We'll do 5 seconds. Wait, of course I showed that part where she wasn't singing. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So there she was actually singing over the backtrack. There is a backtrack, but she was actually singing. And as I've said, this is the most amount of singing from her I have ever witnessed in one entire show. So I feel that is a vast improvement from previous attempts. Okay. All right. Those are the good things. Bad thing. So she had one slow song and she was out of tune. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Or maybe not. So she was really like off tune. She was so off and it was so obvious. Her voice was actually shaking. Let me see if I can pull it up here. So in this slow song that she had, she was sitting down, just exactly this outfit. She was sitting down and she was just holding the mic and she was just off key. And I mean, she could have been tired already by this time because it's like the middle of the set, maybe. So I don't know. I do have to give it to Lisa though for the effort to give something spectacular visually. From the outfits to the set, it was one cohesive picture in every moment of the entire performance. And as I've said, because she did the most amount of live singing in this performance than any other performance she has ever done, including their own concert. So I just have to recognize that. However, the thing is that pure aesthetics without a narrative is empty. And that's what was missing in her performance. It was all about grandeur. It was all about aesthetics, how beautiful the overall look is, how cute her outfits were. But there wasn't really a story to tell. And it doesn't have to be something deep or something complicated. If you can just arrange your song in a way that would tell a narrative, it's clearer. And then if you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to create a really complicated and complex but beautiful set, might as well make sure that that set actually tells a story. And there wasn't any. There was no rhyme and reason into the arrangement of the songs. It was just beautiful. Like if you look at her outfits, it's just beautiful. If you look at the set, it's just beautiful. It's a lot of swag for sure. A lot of swagger. Okay. Next is Jennie. Okay, Jennie. She performed the next day. And just like Lisa, this is the most amount of singing the most amount of time I've seen her sing over the backtrack in a set. I'm not saying that she sang a lot over the backtrack live, but this is the most amount of singing that I've seen her do. Okay. Let me see if I can show you. Okay. Let's do five. Let's do 5 seconds of this. Wait, can you actually see what's okay. Let's do 5 seconds of this one. Okay. So if you watch closely her mouth, the one disadvantage is that because you know what it sounds like when she's actually trying to sing over the backtrack, you know what it sounds like when she's not singing over the backtrack, and that was what happened for the majority of the time. she wasn't really singing. There was, in fact, one or two songs when I felt like she just gave up singing. It was, I called it the fill in the blank singing or rapping, because she would like rap a line or sing a line, or maybe not even finish one line and then just like not sing. So you're left to wonder, like, what was the song about? Yeah, so it's like fill in the blanks, singing and rapping. Okay. The thing is that she always looks good. Jennie looks stunning always, always, always great with what she wears, how she styles herself, and this night was not an exception. She is a real fashionista, and I have absolutely no questions as to why she is constantly pursued by fashion brands, because she always looks flawless, and that includes this night. She looked flawless. But just like Lisa, aesthetics without substance is barren. It's just like nothing. So it's like, I don't know if you've been in like pubs or bars, like small bars in, whatever, like a bar where you drink and then there's a band playing. It sounds like that, because when you're in a place like that and you're playing a gig, you're not really, and you have one set, you're not really thinking about like the story of your performance, right? You're just like, okay, let's sing. Whatever the crowd wants us to sing, we'll sing. And this is the same thing for Jennie and Lisa. They both look great. And Jennie, she looks like her, for herself, like her wardrobe, the way that she styled herself, she was absolutely stunning. And for Lisa, the entire set, including her wardrobe, they were absolutely stunning. But then it's just that, like, it's pretty, but it has no substance. And so, and if you're going to a festival like that, as I've said with Enhypen, you have to offer something different. And that's why Gaga's performance was so mesmerizing, because from beginning to end, you're trying to uncover the story that she's trying to say in her performances, right? Because the thing about Gaga is that we've seen her do the craziest of things. So it is a challenge for her to outdo herself. And she did it by actually creating a narrative in her own performance. So for her, even if it's not, some of her styling is off on, like, if you compare it into a regular fashionista, her styling is off, but because it tells a story, it's great. Like, it comes together. Okay. So the thing is that as I was like trying to digest their performance, the one thing that I realized is that this is the YG training. This is the YG style. Um, it's more about projection, it's more about swagger, it's more about projecting, claiming your spot. That is the quintessential YG style. And so I shouldn't have been surprised that this is how they are performing when this is how they were trained. And this is how they became successful. So they're just carrying on what they learned from YG when they were trainees. And this, that also carried them to stardom all the way until now. So it's like, maybe it is my fault for over expecting something, for expecting something that I get from other artists when it has never been their style, right? They have never released an album with a narrative. They have never released a song that says more than we're cool and we're the best, and that, that we're the envy of other women and other groups or other people. That has always been their song. They've had a few, lovesick girls and stuff like that, but for the most part, that is what they are all about. It's like, um feminist power through swagger. So so i i think we shouldn't, like, this is what works for them, so we shouldn't be expecting anything more. um but okay, so that is my take on their performance. So I would say, if you want to watch the replays of the performances, maybe start with them and then work your way up so that your experience actually elevates. I actually posted on Patreon that after the first day, I said, I have a suggestion, or second day was it? I said, I have a suggestion. If you're going to watch the live performances in Coachella, start with Lisa and then work your way up to Benson Boone because and Lady Gaga. Because if you start with Lady Gaga and Benson Boone, you're gonna like, what the hell is happening? Oh, and that's the other thing. Like, there are um here. So there are artists like Benson Boone, for example, or maybe even Ray, or of course Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, who can stand on stage and have and Adele and just as Celine Dion. There's a lot. They can just stand on stage and sing, and you will be mesmerized. And because these are people who were gifted by the powers that be with a natural great singing voice, and that is all they need, right? Like, they don't need to think of a narrative, they just need to sing, because their voice in itself is the narrative. That's where the story is. But they're no Adele. They're not Adele. They're not Whitney Houston, certainly not Celine Dion. So, like, you have to be, if you don't have that great of a voice, and that is once in a life, I mean, that's rare in a lifetime, not once in a lifetime, but that's rare in a generation. If you don't have that voice, or even a Benson Boone or Queen, like, if you don't have that voice, then you have to make up for it by being intelligent how you perform and what you sing. And so, but it doesn't change the fact that this is their identity as Blackpink members and as Jennie and as Lisa. They're all about, as I've said, women power through swagger. And so maybe it is, like, it's, I think the bottom line is that it is not for me. It doesn't mean that it is not for other people. So maybe other people actually find this great. Okay. So there was one question. I still have something for Coachella, but there was someone asking, um, why BP is successful as they are. I do have a theory. I don't think I will ever be able to, like, prove or disprove it. Um, they are YG is such a great marketer. Yang Yun Suk, he is one of the best marketers. I will put him side by side Steve Jobs. If you, I don't know if you know the story of Apple. Apple, the real genius behind Apple is Wozniak, the partner of Steve Jobs. What Steve Jobs brought into the table is the aesthetics. He was the one who pushed for everything to be streamlined, to be very clean, to be measured, and he got it all from the Japanese style. So YG is something like that. He can package anything and almost everything and make it look premium and successful, even if they're not. And I remember this very, very distinctly. And I'm dating myself. But when iPhones were new, it didn't have Wi-Fi. You can actually use the internet on your phone. And Nokia and BlackBerry, Sony Ericsson, they were all like they all had the ability to use internet on cell phones. And here is the most expensive cell phones, and you can't use the internet. So it's basically like a block of, like, wood, because like nothing. You have nothing, but it is the most expensive one. So people wanted it, even if you can't use the internet with that phone. And it was all about packaging, because they were packaged to be premium. iPhones were packaged to be premium. And to this day, that is how they are being packaged. It is premium, rare. That is the reason they do not, like, after a certain amount of years, if, for example, your MacBook bogs down and you bring it to Apple Store for repair, they're going to tell you, you know what, just buy a new one, because they don't like old laptops going around. They don't like that. That goes against their packaging. So the same thing is true for Blackpink. They were packaged so well that people liked it. And then the other thing is that you always need a rival, right? You always need a rival. And Yang Yoon Suk is actually very good at positioning her group as the rival, and then make it seem elite so that they're better than the original one. So, for example, when TVXQ was launched, he created Big Bang to be the antithesis of um Nigma, Nigma said, Nigma said, I have to put my foot down on this. The comparison is an insult to Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a great designer, great marketer. Okay, so where was I? Oh, so he's great at um uh, of creating his group as a rival. He initially created Big Bang as a rival of TVXQ. It's just that TVXQ bugged out. They sued the company, the half of the group, actually, more than half of the group sued the company, and they had to eventually like part ways. So he was like, he emphasized everything um that Big Bang TVXQ was not. So he was like, they compose their own songs, they write their own songs, and he got away with everything. Like um G Dragon has been into so many, oh my god, so many plagiarism cases, and he would always find a way to get away from it. Like the Florida incident is the biggest one, and this is a genius move. So everyone caught him because it was like an entire verse that he copied. And what he did, so everyone was asking, everyone was asking G Dragon about it, and they were getting clobbered. And what Yang Yung Suk did was ask Florida to work with G Dragon. So it seemed like, you see, it's not plagiarism because he even worked with G Dragon. But then in a very very clear interview, Florida was actually asked about it, and he did not deny that it was plagiarism. He just said like, oh, he did it well, something like that. So he has that. Like if there is something big that another company created, he's going to package his own group to be the antithesis of that group and package them to be the rival. So he did that. So when BTS was going up, Blackpink, he positioned them to be the rival of BTS. And I think that's well documented because he would constantly use BTS's name in his description of Blackpink in his press releases. He would always mention BTS. And so they became, the closest. And they were massive. They were massive. But still not as massive as people think they are, but still massive. So that is the answer to your question as to why they are big. Okay. um don't like G Dragon. Okay. Anything else? Who's that? I don't like G Dragon. Fire Butterfly said. Things we do for BTS. Okay. I agree. Please sing if you are marketed as a singer. um yeah. You're supposed to be they are, that's what they were. um Bella Tricks, that's how they were packaged by YG. That's how they were packaged. At some point, I actually thought, this is just a little tidbit, I actually thought it was going to be GOT7. They were going to be the rival of BTS. And I don't know what didn't work. I guess that BTS and GOT7 members are just close friends. So maybe that part didn't work so well because you're supposed to create an illusion of rivalry. If you're going to be packaged as rivals, you're supposed to create the illusion of rivalry. And for GOT7 and for BTS, they were just friends. Like they would hang out together. As you know, during the program of Problematic Men, when RM was still there and they were asked to call a friend, he actually called Jackson. And then Yugyum and Jungkook are really good friends. So I think it just didn't work out because they were such great friends. But and then it's just that JYP doesn't know. He's still learning how to market internationally. So, you know. But in terms of like GOT7 was mismanaged. Yes, I believe GOT7 was mismanaged because that's such a talented group. And it would have been great. I mean, if there's anybody who's going to be the rival of BTS, I wouldn't mind it being GOT7. As I've said, because they're such good friends. At some point, wouldn't it be great? They already had one like collaboration stage, but wouldn't it be great to actually see two groups working together in one stage or something like that? Um, but it was just, JYP just didn't know how to get into the US market yet. He's learning slowly. Um, Either that or he's just lucky with the two groups that he's managing right now. Okay. When I first became an ARMY in 2018, many XOL gave an impression EXO is the rival of BTS because EXO was massive. They were massive. EXO, when they were first launched, they were massive. It's just that, just like JYP, SM's experience was sort of limited to Japan and Asia. And so they didn't quite know how to do it. And the problem is, and then we're going to go back into that that narrative. The problem is that I don't think anybody knew how to get into the international market. BTS just happened to do it because of the skills and how they offered it. Okay, so it's not Caribbean lady BP has never been in BTS's league, no matter the packaging. How did YG mention BTS in the beginning? Okay, so next time I'll put in some articles, but even in the description of their own group, in their own website, they mention BTS. Like, this is a group like BTS. And then whenever they put up press releases, they would always mention BTS. Like, Blackpink is the new BTS, or BTS is not the only group, blah blah blah. It's also Blackpink or something like that. So next time I'll show some. I didn't know that the conversation is going to go there in that direction. So I didn't really prepare. Okay. So now the next question is, yeah, so I've mentioned this, like, this is YG's brand for Blackpink, like, grind more than dance, more ass shaking than actual singing. And so we shouldn't be surprised. Um, I'm not saying that this is like bad. Maybe this is just not for me. Uh, I think, like, yeah, this is just not for me. I'm not the market. I'm too old for this. I'm ancient. Like, I should be a fertilizer by now. So maybe for the younger market, that's what they like, but not for me. Okay, now, next question is performing in Coachella a big deal? Because there seems to be this impression that if you actually are invited to Coachella, you're made, that is the peak of your career and whatever. Maybe for some, Coachella is actually the peak of their career, but it shouldn't be. Okay. It's a festival. So the peak of your career is a tour, a stadium tour, a successful stadium tour, a really successful stadium tour. Coachella was actually first created back in 1999, and it was like a 2-day event, and it was a real celebration of music. So they would get like actual, Veruca said, I'm not ancient. Like, they would get real artists that are not always seen together, and they would put them together in 2 days, and people would spend the time there and just celebrate music. It's like Woodstock, like an elevated Woodstock or an evolved Woodstock, supposedly without the drugs. Supposedly, that's not true. So that's how it started. So this is their very first lineup: Chemical Brothers, Morrissey, imagine, Rage Against the Machine, Ben Harper, I Miss the Guy, Underworld, Art of Noise. So many of these are actually great acts that you don't normally watch often. Um, and then this is them. So 2000, they launched 1999. By 2000, they actually, because of financial reasons, they didn't run anything, and then they went back 2001, and it became a one weekend festival. So this is their lineup: Jane's Addiction, Paul Oakenfield, Weezer, Chemical Brothers, Fatboy Slim, The Roots. So these are great acts. So still very underground, but they started gaining popularity. Now, 2018, when so they started gaining popularity like a lot, and then alongside that is the rise of influencers, right? Like Instagram, YouTube. So a lot of people would go to these festivals and take pictures and use that to position themselves as influencers, as somebody who's actually connected to the music industry and all of those stuff. 2018, Beyonce performed, and this was sort of the peak of Coachella. Now, the one thing is that before the performance of Beyonce, Coachella was popular, but not in the mainstream kind of popular way, the way that we know now. But they were already a successful uh, festival, just not as successful as they are now. Now, when Beyonce played, and you know that she puts on a show, okay? She puts on a show. And that's what she did. She put on a show, and it was the best they've ever had as a headliner. And that sort of solidified the cultural impact of Coachella. From there, it transitioned into a fashion event. from from Beyonce, it transitioned into a fashion event because more and more influencers and models and celebrities would actually go there, have themselves photographed, and Coachella sort of allowed it to happen. In fact, they encouraged it to happen. So they would invite a lot of media people so that media people can take pictures of the celebrities that are attending Coachella, because attaching yourself to a celebrity was a huge marketing push for your brand. And so this they talked about the Michael Mente, the co-founder of fashion brand Revolve, even compared the music festival to New York Fashion Week. At Coachella in 2017, Revolve dressed 416 influencers. Imagine that, 416 influencers booked out an entire hotel and opened a pop-up shop for festival goers to take pictures and post them online. The result, 4.4 billion social media impressions. Imagine that. 416 influencers, they booked an entire hotel, opened a pop-up shop for the festival goers to take pictures and post them online. So it became the hub of influencers and became the main marketing push of many influencers. Okay. In 2022, Kendall Jenner, supermodel, and of course, part of the Kardashian family, embraced the Y2K takeover, pigtails, baguette purse, and all. And she paired her look with a micro top and excessively baggy pants. And she started the Y2K trend. Okay. So, that she, so yearly, they would dictate the fashion trend that was going to happen. So, again, photographers would go there, take pictures, post it online, and then it translated into a huge media push. So now the result is that Coachella is now a marketing tool, not really a prestigious event for music. People go there because they want to be photographed. They want people to see what they're wearing, who they're with, or who are other people that are within their vicinity. So it has really lost the essence that they originally founded themselves on. It was supposed to be a celebration of music. And when you say celebration of music, you're supposed to invite actual great musicians. Now, it's just like, oh, whoever is going to sell tickets, they're going to invite them. The unfortunate thing is that it has been going down since 4 years ago. So, of course, everything was, I guess, the pandemic sort of was really bad for them because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't gather a huge crowd. But since then, it has been going down and down and down and down. Actually, even before that, there was a trend of Coachella going down. And one of the reasons they actually invited Blackpink was they were hoping that they would actually boost up the attendance and sales of the tickets of Coachella. That didn't happen. It was actually the very first year, the year that Blackpink headlined, Coachella was the very first year they did not sell out the tickets. And for this year, there are still tickets available for next weekend. So if you want to go, you can still buy. Okay. So it isn't the kind of prestigious event um, for music anymore. What it now needs is a revival. It needs a revival to bring it back to its essence. So they need to find a way on how to create a program or craft a program and come up with a lineup that will have a huge following, but it's going to be entirely about music instead of just sales. I think it has to start with music. Personally, I would say instead of just inviting acts and then putting them on stage, they should actually facilitate the production and have people um, do collaboration stages on certain parts of the program. I think that will, like, if you put together Adele and whoever, somebody like Coldplay or something. I'm just coming up with names. So yeah, if they, I think that would solve it. Not solve it, but that would be one option. If they, instead of just inviting acts and then having them perform, they should actually facilitate the production itself so that it becomes a real celebration of music. But it isn't as prestigious as it was anymore. Now, a lot of people keep on saying like, "Oh, BTS has never been invited and whatever." BTS does not need Coachella. They don't need Coachella. um Not anymore, probably before when they were young and new, but not anymore. uh when they were, probably when they started out their individual careers, maybe for a boost as solo artists. But then the initial phase of their solo careers have, it came and went, and they did fine. So they don't need, like, somebody says like they have never been invited to Coachella. I'm like, yeah, and J-Hope just sold out his tour in North America, and he's already selling out his tour in the Asia leg. So why, what does he need it for? There are shows that he goes to because he wants to perform for the audience there. He doesn't have, for example, a European leg of his tour. So he's going to perform in Lollapalooza Berlin because that's a chance to actually perform before a European audience. So things like that. But the one thing for sure is that they don't need to. So, but anybody says like, "Oh, you have never BTS has never been invited to Coachella," it's like, so point is, what's your point? There is, like, it is not a loss for them. They do not need it. Okay. They were, where's that? They were at first but couldn't do it then. Owen said, Coachella is a party influencer festival. We had Hobie Palooza as proof, but now the ship has sailed. The ship has definitely sailed. I mean, if they want to do it, sure. As I've said, like, if it's going to serve a specific purpose, why not? But it has to benefit them more than them benefiting the event. And as of now, that's what's going to happen. The event is going to benefit, like, J Hope's performance in Lollapalooza in Berlin is really more because he doesn't have a European date. That's why he did the France, was it France, Paris, the Paris event, and then he's doing the Lollapalooza Berlin because he doesn't have a European date. So if it's something like that, like it actually has a purpose, then why not? If the boys would like to sort of brush up on their live performances as a, not that they need it. I really don't think that they want to brush up on their live performance skills. Like, why? But just in case they feel like they need to, sure. But as again, I feel like them appearing on a festival, any kind of festival, is more the festival benefiting from it than them benefiting from the festival. I'm sad they'll never do water bomb. That would be funny to watch. Like, I think the water bomb festival, I think, is going to be great for them simply because it's more a local event, and they always want to spend as much time as they can with K armies. That's why they appear in music shows. that they also don't get anything from it. It's just that they really want to be able to see Korean armies. So that I think would be great for them to perform in. Okay, last year fandoms boasts that BP played Coachella, BTS never did. I played that they could throw their own festival for 3 years. BP or the solos played it. It didn't boost their careers, seriously. um, yeah, I mean, like, if you can't even sell a 7,000 seater theater, right? I mean, here's Suga regretting the fact that he didn't do stadium when he should have, because there is enough demand for a stadium. Um, and here is J Hope actually selling out his stadium tours as his stadium stop in LA. So what do they need it for? Hi Juveline. Hi Fairlane. Apo Bangko said, hi Fairlane. BTS is bigger than before, but they have been out of the military since 22. We don't know what they have been offered, but rejected due to schedule. Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. We don't know the things that they have been offered. And we don't know the things that are lined up for them, right? Maybe, maybe they want to go to a festival. I don't know. Um, as I've said, Coachella needs some help right now because it's getting worse. The attendance is getting worse. It's not getting better. So, but then again, as I've said, if they go to any kind of festival, I can't think of any that they will benefit more than that festival will benefit from them. Um, I've been hearing BP fans talk about not wanting a tour because the last one didn't work out for them. Some even say that they should focus on their solo careers. I think that's what the girls want. Maybe they just want this tour one last time for whatever. Fire Butterfly, thank you, she said, for whatever helps you help others. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Fire Butterfly. I appreciate you a lot. Okay, so yeah, I mean, for sure the girls are thinking of the future more now. Maybe this is one tour that they just want to do because for their fans, maybe they want to be able to bow out in grace. um I think after this tour, it's going to take some time for them to come together again. So they probably want to give their fans like a good 6 months of their lives before they go off and do whatever it is that they want to do again. Okay. BP is a brand to leave it behind means a dip in recognition. Do you think Coachella can support an act like BTS? Yeah, they can support an act like BTS. Why not? I mean, they need a boost right now. So, um, Jin didn't have choreography for Happy on Purpose. Echo Tour might. I think he's learned. You think he's gonna tour? Would you stay away from an Apple and Google? Oh, you're talking about brands? Sorry, I don't think that BP girls did well. They lip synced most of the time. Jennie got exhausted after the second song. It's hard to watch while their fans said they ate it. um, no, I said my review is that it is not for me, and I agree to what you said that they lip sync for Jennie. Sorry, for Lisa, this is the most amount of time she actually made an effort to be heard above the backtrack. She did still allow the backtrack to do a lot of the work. And for Jenny, it was like fill in the blanks. She would sing a line or two, or maybe like half a line, and then and then stop singing. So you're like, what is that? So yeah, that's what I call it, fill in the blanks. But then maybe this is a different kind of performance now. I can't sort of not consider the possibility that maybe this is what for for the audience, this is actually what they want. um just like, I mean, a good metaphor would be, not metaphor, but a good um comparison would be like young people nowadays, if they see like an actress or an actor, they don't really consider those to be the superstars. For them, influencers are superstars. Like gamers are the supers. Those are their celebrity. I wouldn't understand that, but for this like the younger generation, those are what they consider to be celebrities. So maybe when it comes to performance, because I'm ancient and old and I should be a fertilizer by now, maybe I'm looking for actual live singing and great dancing. Maybe the younger generation is not looking for that. So maybe Jenny, maybe Jenny can do multiple choice next time. Maybe let's sing one line and then you choose. I mean, if you watch her performance, it's just like you'll know what I mean. I don't know if you're able to grasp how I'm describing her performance, but it's like um yeah, it's like da 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 da, and then not sing, and I'm like what's the next line? I'm just gonna stop singing. What the hell is this? Okay. BTS will be getting ready for a world tour and their solo projects. No time for Coachella. I don't care for girl groups or anywhere plus BP songs all the same. It's all Teddy. It's going to be interesting because they said that they're going to be releasing an album in June. So because Teddy, as far as or maybe it's still going to be him. It will be interesting who's actually going to be producing the tracks. Maybe Yang Yanso, who knows? Um, Girls' Generation Live was incredible. Oh yeah, I mean they existed at a time um, when the the trade was still on live singing. Speaking of BTS, you do have to expect several things when they come back. And one of those is that their name is going to be dragged by every Korean label to ride on their fame. So you have to be prepared for that. Uh, they are going to be used for press releases. They are going to be used for the other fandoms are going to compare their favorites against BTS. uh, in the international media is always going to look for the next BTS, as if they haven't given up on looking on finding the next BTS. They've been looking for like 10 years and they haven't given up. So don't engage, but that's going to happen. Do know that that's going to happen. uh, it's just it's already starting. It's already starting. There are so many groups that are going to make their comeback on the months that they know BTS or they expect BTS will be active. Just don't engage. Remember that at the end of the day, the power of the media is on your hands. So once somebody start mentioning them and you respond to those, then you're amplifying their voice. So the real way, the only effective way of actually fighting them is by not paying attention to them. Okay. Gemma, what do I think of other groups doing BTS covers? Great. I mean, I see this a lot. Like I remember there's this one guy who posted his, I think he's auditioning for Big Hit or Hype, and he decided to do Lie by Jimin, the song. So that's what he danced to. And armies were like, "You're never gonna be as good as Jimin." And like, why do you even say that? Number one, here is a guy making an effort to pay homage to BTS or one BTS member, and you're just breaking the guy's spirit. Number two is that I don't think the guy thinks he's better than Jimin. I don't. I think anybody who thinks that is going to be delusional. I don't think that's what he's after. He just really likes the song and he likes the performance of Jimin. That's why he's imitating them. I mean, don't we belt out some of the tunes that we like? So that's welcome. Like, go ahead and cover it for as long as you want, right? So I think if somebody makes a cover, encourage them, like whether or not their performance don't lie, but encourage them because that is them paying their respects to BTS. Next, talk about BTS only, even if it is to refute a claim by another fandom. Mention BTS without mentioning the other group. So they are already starting with this. Kathy Swamp Queen said, K Media is going to bomb Suga when he gets out. I think BTS will surround him though. That will come up for sure, and I will mention that in a bit. So, talk about BTS only. So, it's already starting. A lot of other fandoms are actually faking achievements. So, they would lie on certain achievements to make it seem like they've already surpassed BTS. And so, even if you want to refute it, don't mention the other group. Just mention the fact about BTS, but don't mention the other group. Try to post three positive things for every negative thing that you encounter. Or if you don't want to post, you can support other contents that are saying something good about BTS. Okay. But do not engage and don't mention the name of other groups. You mention it, then you're amplifying their voice. Remember, when it comes to social media, it's all about mentions, not necessarily the quality of what you're mentioning. Number three, haters will use solos to divide the fandom. That has already started. So haters are going to approach Jungkook solos, Jimin solos, V solos, J-Hope solos, RM solos, Suga solos, and Jin solos. And they're going to egg them on. It will be, the discussion is all about your favorite is getting mistreated. The others are the favorite. Why is your favorite blah, blah, blah? Why is your favorite not ranking? The others are ranking. Why are they not getting the producers, the Grammy winning producers that are given to other members? And they will egg them on to anger them and divide the fandom and break the concentration. So don't engage. Hi, Phaedra. Um, I've stopped basically for solos. I've had way too many. There are solo member biased fandoms that I engage with. They send me some articles and some references and some photos that I don't mind. Or they tell me like if there is a release, like the Jin is going to release his second album, right? There are certain groups that are Jin biased, and they would send me like, oh, we have a project, or here are funding accounts for Jin. I would engage with those for as long as they don't say anything bad about the other members. But the solos I'm talking about are the toxic ones, like super toxic ones. These are the ones that are just not doing anything nice. They're not helping. They're not really supporting the members, and they're just there to be angry. Okay. Don't engage with that. Okay. So next, haters will pretend to be armies and shoo away casual fans or returning fans. I think we're underestimating the importance of casual fans. And these are just the people that they just like listening to the songs. They're not like following the personal lives of the members or saving pictures or whatever. They just like the pictures, or I mean the songs. They are important because these are the people that will actually stream properly. They will include like 5 to 6 songs of BTS in their playlist, and that counts better. So when there are fans, casual fans, let's welcome them. Or if there are fans that are returning, those who went on hiatus when BTS went on hiatus as a group, don't shoo them away. Don't tell them like you do not belong here because you weren't here in the last 2.5 years and whatever. They matter because they stream, they will probably buy. Okay. Next. Cindy E said, didn't RM essentially say a one time to not engage the haters? It is not worth it. It isn't worth it at all. I'm telling you. I used to have like when I was new in YouTube, I used to engage with haters. And then at some point I kind of realized, wait a minute, all this time that I'm wasting responding to these haters, I could actually use that time to people that are actually supporting me. So why? Why will I waste my time on you when you're obviously just hating, trolling? So I've stopped. So I don't, if you would, in the early days of my YouTube, you would see me responding to these haters. But then I kind of realized, there are others that are actually expressing support, and I don't acknowledge them. Instead, I'm using my time acknowledging this useless people who has just no better use of their time. So it is useless. Don't engage with them. Okay, next, irrelevant roach will resurface, and or her minions. I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. So whatever issue they're hiding or they're trying to bury, they're going to find a way on how to revive certain issues. Point at BTS. Remember, in her mind, the only way she can destroy Hybe is if she destroys BTS. And that is true. That's the only way you can destroy Hybe or Big Hit, if you destroy BTS. She's not that powerful, but she is going to try. She's going to try. So don't pay attention to them. That is why when there are updates on her case, I just post it in Patreon, because Patreon is a controlled community. People there just read it, react a little, and then move on. We do not engage publicly. So if you want to get some updates on what's going to happen with the case and whatever, just subscribe to my Patreon. The content of this is usually free anyway. So it is better because it's controlled. The public, the outside world don't get the mentions. Okay. Next, dating scandals, family scandals, money scandals, any kind of scandals that happened to them in the past, it's going to resurface. Absolutely any kind of scandals. Even though the scandal is a made up one, it's going to resurface. So don't pay attention to that. Okay? Don't pay attention. I've always said, when it comes to things like this, stopping people from saying something won't work. It is better to hijack the narrative and make it our own. So, for example, if somebody says, oh, there is a picture, this is just an example, there is a picture of whatever, Jin dating on a date with his girlfriend, and they publish the photos. It's not going to work to stop them. There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop the spread of those photos. This is just an example. I'm not saying he has a girlfriend. I have absolutely no idea if he has a girlfriend or not. I also do not care. So if you try to stop them from doing something that you don't like, they won't stop. The more that they will do it, the better approach is to not care. So if they publish a picture of whoever the member dating on a date or whatever, so who cares if they're dating? That is a better approach, because you are disempowering them. You're essentially saying whatever weapon you have is useless. So you can use your weapon for as long as you want, but it's not going to affect me. So when these things happen, any kind of scandal that they're trying to make or trying to miscontextualize, the better approach is we do not care, rather than stop doing this, because they won't stop. Okay. The latest leaker was laughed out of importance by everyone. It's crickets now. Well, a lot of the things that the leaker also publishes, nothing. It's just like dance practices, and like, okay, so they're practicing. That's what trainees do. They practice their dance routine. Okay. I have a question. Do you think BTS music is still in the niche of K-pop, talking about how much and who consumes their music, not the type of music? Do I still think it is niche of K-pop? No, I think the label only exists for streaming platforms, for Billboard, but in terms of the consumption, it isn't anymore, especially not their solo music. Um, so the consumption is so widespread in the US. They're being listened to by even the South, even in countries, in states, in areas or regions where it's usually dominated either by hip hop or by country music. They are known and they are consumed. So I mean, to this day, you wouldn't be able to believe the kind of popularity that Dynamite continues to enjoy, and Butter. So no, I don't think it is. It is still, it hasn't been niche for a long time. For a really long time, it hasn't been anymore. So no, the answer to your question is no. Okay, next. So this I strongly advise. If anybody comes out with a photo with some information of someone dating this or business that, whatever, the the better reaction, instead of telling them stop it, is that I do not care, it doesn't matter. That's the better response. Because then whatever weapon they have, as I've said, whatever weapon they have, no matter how much they try to use it, will be useless. It has no effect. Okay. Next, also, Scooter Braun and just about everyone working in one of the companies of Hype will be dragged and attached to BTS. So the entire narrative of them being this ism, this kind of ism, this is ism here, they will make a big deal out of everything. So keep it professional. When they mention Scooter Braun has done this, Scooter Braun did this, Scooter Braun blah blah blah, Bang Shiyuk has done this, this new person that they hired has done this. Keep the narrative at work. At the end of the day, the choices of people, the choices that people make on their personal lives, on their politics, on their morals, on their social life, that is none of our business. They are here to work for BTS. So keep the conversation about BTS, about work. And so it goes back to it doesn't matter, because it's the only response that will not have any kind of counter response from this. So they start talking about this person supports this kind of group or whatever. The answer is, I don't care. That's the only response where they will not be able to respond to anymore. Okay, next. Fake numbers will come out about the group, the achievements of other groups. So expect that. It's going to be very frustrating. That's fine. It's not true anyway. So, as I've said, if you want to clarify anything, mention the right data, but don't mention the other group. Okay. Next, they will pull down the level of BTS by comparing BTS to other acts, and they continue to do it to this day. This group is better than BTS. This group has sold more albums than BTS. This group has been able to do this, but not BTS. And remember, the minute that you allow yourself to be compared to somebody else or something else, that is the time you're admitting you're in the same level. You can only be compared if you are of the same level. For example, Will Tolkien, the writer, Will Tolkien, if he is compared to me as a writer, do you think he's going to allow that? It's an insult to him because I'm a nobody and he has done so many great novels already. So, but then if people allow that to happen, if that means that we are at the same skill level, right? So the same thing is true for BTS. They are going to get compared to many groups, to many acts, and they will do it on purpose. They will keep the other great, this other, not great, but funny trick that other groups or other fandoms are doing is that once they are able to use something that they know or say something that they know pisses armies off, they'll keep on doing it. So there is this Blackpink chart Twitter account, and she used the word effortlessly, and she realized that a lot of armies are actually pissed with that word. Like she would say, this member of Blackpink, I'm not so sure about it, I don't really pay attention too much, so I may be inaccurate about the details. Like she would say, this Blackpink member has achieved this effortlessly surpassing a certain member of BTS, and a lot of armies are going to react, and she's getting a lot of engagement, so she keeps on doing it, not because she knows it is true, but because she knows she's going to get a reaction. So don't react. If you want to disempower them, own the narrative. And lastly, and I think we should all realize this, the old BTS won't be back. That chapter 1 and chapter 2, and chapter 1 has ended and they're about to end chapter 2. So whatever kind of BTS we're gonna get, this is the BTS that has gone through way more experiences, have served has members. They have served the military. They have different needs. They want different things. So this is going to be an entirely different, not entirely different group, but they are going to present something different. The dynamics are most likely going to change. So don't expect them to be the same BTS we used to know. They have changed and they have evolved, and that is something they have absolute right over. So, and people are going to use that. Like for example, when it just for example, if they decide not to do a narrative this time and just create like an album, a simple album with no narrative or whatever, no story or whatever, just in case, just for example, that's what they decide to do. They're going to People are going to say, oh, now they're selling out, there is no narrative, there's no blah blah blah. So always remember, things change, people evolve. So this is a different BTS that we're going to get when they come back. So it's treated more like an adventure, like, okay, let's see who it is now, like what kind of group it is now. This is a different kind of group. It would be interesting to get to know them again. Okay. What's old BTS? There is no old BTS. The old style, the classic style, the legacy style, we know that they always do things, for example, in threes, right? There's always a narrative behind every era. We don't know if that's one thing they still want to do. Are they still going to do a narrative? Maybe, maybe not. But whatever that may be, we should not expect that whatever it is that they used to give us will be the same thing that they're going to be giving us now. Also, BTS is laughing when they hear someone screw up. They are very proud of the might of armies, and they all tell us how to act going forward. So that's good. Things change, people change, and everyone changes. Yes. I'm so excited to see what they have prepared for us. So am I. I really am. I mean, I don't know what it is that they're going to create. They could just decide to create something fun, or maybe something soulful, or maybe something deeper than they used to create. I have absolutely no idea. But whatever that is, I'm here for it. And I know that just because of their core, I know it's going to be good. It's going to be better. Okay. I think I have enough time because the next segment is actually super short. Before, I just want to remind everybody. So I'm going to be interviewing Mantis. He's a producer. He has worked with Jack Harlow, the baby. He's in the industry. He's actually a professional producer and engineer. So if you have questions in terms of, like, I'm going to post this in Patreon. Like, if you have questions about music production, the process, what they do, and all of that stuff, then let me know. I will ask him. I will interview him this Thursday. Okay, so I think I can finish this pretty quick. This was actually a question sent in by, is this it? Yeah. So someone asked me, why is TXT, why is Big Hit mismanaging TXT? Like, when are they going to become successful? And I was so surprised with the question because I've always thought that TXT is very, very successful. So when this person asked me, like, so when is TXT going to be successful? I'm like, they're not. Like, I've always thought they're very, very successful. For those who are in Patreon, you know that Bongyu is actually my bias in the group. I'm OT5, but Bongyu is actually my bias. Okay, so um, this is one example of a number, like a data that proves how successful they are. In 2023, according to Billboard, Big Hit Music artists became the highest grossing touring K-pop male acts. First is Suga with 57.1, and then TXT with 47 million. And according to the Financial Supervisory Service Electronic Disclosure System, Big Hit Music had the highest sales among Hype's label with 552.3 billion won in 2023. So I'm like, this is not successful for you. Like, you're a tough audience if you don't think this is not successful. And then for 2023, fourth generation groups touring data from touring data, they are third. However, they only had 29 shows. So they grossed 49.7 million with only 29 shows. Stray Kids, 62 million, but they had 42 shows. And then Enhypen had 76.9 million, but they had 42 shows. So I don't know why people are perceiving that TXT is not successful or not doing well, despite all of these numbers. 42 shows, 29 shows, 49.7 million. Isn't that impressive? Okay, another data. Best selling artists in Circle chart for 2023. Uh, they are number three, 6.4 million copies in 2023. So they're just behind 17 and Stray Kids. And 17 has like 5,000 members. Not 5,000 members, but so I think there is this perception that unless you're doing the same things that BTS is doing, you're not successful. And I think that's what's killing a lot of people. People will just have to understand that you cannot use BTS as a point of comparison because they're just different now, right? It's a different league. BTS is in a different league. But within K-pop, their TXT is one of the most successful. They're toe to toe with Stray Kids. Um, I would definitely, I know, anyway, they're toe to toe with, I would say Stray Kids and TXT are the top two groups. So I really don't understand in fourth gen. So I really don't understand this, where the perception is coming from that they're not as successful as, not successful enough to be like one of the top. They certainly are. The thing that you need to do is just take out BTS in that equation. Don't compare anybody to BTS. And you do that and you will see just how successful TXT is, how successful Stray Kids is. Um okay. Define maybe a good question to ask them is define successful. I did ask them that, and it always goes back to stadium tours, which is another thing, and Billboard Hot 100 entries. And that's another thing. Just because somebody's on a stadium tour doesn't mean that they are successful, because they could be on a stadium tour and not sell it out. So there are groups that are doing that. So just because there's playing on stadiums doesn't mean that they are successful. So I personally, if I am like the actual management company, I would rather you play an arena and sell it out than play in a stadium and then it's half empty. So nobody's asking TXT to do BTS numbers. Hell, no one is expecting them to do BTS numbers. 3,700. Okay. Let's go down a little because there's a lot of comments. Okay. TXT is managed well. They have their own lane and they do it well. Yeah, as I've said, it's all because people are it's like, I guess it's like the sons of the Beatles. Like, people will say the sons of the Beatles are not successful. And I'm like, who are you comparing to, the Beatles? If you compare anybody to the Beatles, no one's going to be successful. If that is your standard, then, well, we're all effed up. So um it's like saying like the children of the presidents, for example, like, oh, they're not as successful as their father. Well, who are you comparing them to? Their father, who's the president of the United States of America? I don't think that's like a reasonable expectation, right? You have to understand that, like, the success of BTS comes only once in a lifetime, or maybe only once, period. So if that is your threshold, good luck. But if you take that out and actually just level the playing field, you will realize better who's actually the most successful, or at least one of the most successful. Billboard Hot 100 is not anyone's cup of tea. Maybe they think just because TXT is not a household name like BTS, they're not successful. You can't compare the two. You cannot compare the two, correct? Arena is the best, though the views at BMO really shown to be amazing all around. Yeah. I mean, if I could just like convince BTS are just playing arena, so I can at least see them. That's not going to happen. So, um, Billboard is trying to keep all K-pop out. So, thank you, Fairlane. Good night. Good night. We have 1 hour 59. So, yeah, so things are happening. Let this be my closing. I am on my, what's that? So, I will be doing a lot more interviews, and I will also be, I'll probably do some traveling as well to like attend some events. I've got some invitations from certain events from different places, states, and whatever. So there's a lot of things happening. So I hope that you support as the channel evolves. Our core will, my core will always be BTS because they're my favorite group. But yeah, I will tell you as soon as I have like the complete, not the complete, but like a clearer details of the things that I'll be doing for the rest of the year. I'll let you guys know. And then the website is almost done. I just have some changes to do, and then I'll do the soft launch. After that, after about 3 months, once I kind of know what I want really in the website, then I will do like a proper website with a proper website designer. And I'm also working on certain things like press pass and press ID and stuff like that, so I can attend way more events, not just here in the US, but also in other places and other countries. So I'm excited. I hope that you join me in my journey as I try to grow the brand and the channel. Um, yeah. Do you have any questions before we go? It's already 2 hours. So, do you have questions before I go? Good night, everyone. Good night, Evie. Lily, a lot of us are like that. I follow a bit just to learn about the environment. Bank PD, what Bank PD should do next is sit down every single artist at Hype and let them know that they don't have to compare themselves to BTS. And they will let the journalist mention that. um, TXT singing in Spanish. What cool kids? They are singing in Spanish? Oh, wow. And I will be looking at your designers. Where is the puppy? He is sleeping. You want to say good night, goodbye to him? Okay. Dabak. Dabak. They want to say goodbye. Dabak. He's not paying attention to me. Where are you? Dabak. Oh, here he is. Okay, say goodbye. Let's say goodbye together. Say bye bye, baby. Say bye bye, everyone. Good night. Good night. Say good night. Say good night. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.